I think that this issue itself is not just an issue that's in my country here in Australia, but you also see it in a lot of other countries, especially in the Western world. For now over a few years, the Western world, like just here in Australia, has become extremely lenient of when it comes to criminals. And this story right here just goes to show of why we should stop doing that. We need to stop being so soft on criminals and on crime in general. So back in May of this year, there was a machete brawl that happened in the Northland Shopping Centre here in Victoria. So I live in Victoria, Australia, and in one of the shopping centres, the shopping centre is called Northland, and there was a massive machete brawl that went through that, right? Made headlines around the news, made headlines around the country. Obviously a very terrible thing. And then one of the people that was involved in it was this 18-year-old right here. That's right. This guy is 18 years old. His name is Abel Sawzor. He's 18 years of age. And you would think that if you were involved in a machete brawl at a shopping center to the point where it shuts down that entire shopping center, you should be put into jail. But no. Instead, what happened was that this person was sentenced to community work. That's right. This person, and not only that, but apparently as well is that this 18-year-old was on bail. So they were already on bail. They commit another crime, and then they were put onto community work. And after this, they were let back out into the world. And now, just a few weeks ago, there was two younger teenagers, ages 12 and 15, who was stabbed to death. And there were 7 people that were arrested over the stabbing of these two, of Dao Akung and Chol Achik. One of the people that was arrested for the stabbing, while these kids, they were walking home from basketball practice, was that exact 18-year-old who committed that crime of that machete brawl. That's right. So this person was arrested for a crime, let back out on bail, committed a brawl with a machete in a shopping center, and then was let back out after community service, and now they have stabbed someone to death. The leniency that this country shows on crime and on criminals is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And what does the government here in Victoria decide to do? Instead of cracking down on crime and go, hey, you know what? We need to be harsher on these people. Stop giving them bail. We need to start putting them in jail. We need to start holding these people accountable. What do they do? They put out a machete ban. They put out a machete ban. Because yes, getting rid of weapons is what's going to do this. Yeah, 100%. That's what's going to stop these killings from happening. That's what's going to stop from the crime that's happening in Victoria. In this state, crime is at like an all-time high. It has skyrocketed since the pandemic ended to all-time highs. It's absolutely ridiculous. And also the reduction as well. Youth crimes that are not being incarcerated. The amount of criminals that are kids. Like, I don't care. If that person is a teenager and they commit a crime, they should still be put through the justice system. They need to be put in juvie and taught a lesson, because even though that they might be young, they can still go out and kill someone. And that is exactly what they have done right here. And I find it really fucking hilarious once again that what does the Victorian government do? Instead of cracking down on crime, they go ahead and they just go, oh, we're going to ban machetes. That's going to fix everything. Well, little do they know. Well, they probably do know this, but I can't find the stats of it here in Australia, anywhere in Australia. But I saw this from England because they went through a similar thing where they started banning ninja swords and machetes, and they were like, oh, these are what causing all the crimes. You know that when it comes to majority of knife crimes, they're actually committed with kitchen knives. They are. They're committed with regular fucking kitchen knives. What are you going to do? Outlaw kitchen knives? No. What you need to start doing is cracking down on crime. And this happens, like I said at the start of the video, is that this is something that's happening everywhere around in the Western world. This is not just here in Australia, because I see it happen in America, I see it happening in the UK, I see it happening in parts of Europe as well, is that over the last few years, governments have become so lenient on criminals, because I think it's definitely got to be a ripple effect from what happened with George Floyd and BLM, with all of that happening in America, and then all of a sudden the whole movement of defunding the police, being more lenient on criminals, and now look what's happening. You're being more lenient on these criminals, showing sympathy towards criminals, but you're not showing sympathy to the families that are actually getting harmed by this. Because you have allowed a government, because you have allowed your government to go ahead and be so lenient on crime, you are showing sympathy towards these people who are committing machete brawls, getting let out on fucking community service, and then going ahead and killing a 12 and 15-year-old. So as much as, yes, our government is to blame, if you are someone who is supporting the government and have supported this to be more lenient on criminals, you are to blame as well of when it comes to this whole entire situation. I am absolutely fucking annoyed that every single day that I go down to sit at the dinner table and I watch the news, every single time there is a fucking crime, majority of the time, it's by repeat offenders. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous of the amount of people that we see that, like, they're either rapists, pedophiles, they've committed assault multiple times, that they are just let out on bail, let off with community service, and then they go and commit another fucking crime. I mean, you saw it with that Ukrainian girl in America, with the guy who stabbed her to death. He had committed like 14 crimes before that as well. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous of how lenient we are allowing our justice system to be. It's fucking insane. And I actually get so annoyed with how this world is going, and it's showing sympathy towards the wrong people. If you start showing sympathy towards these criminals, then you are just ignoring the innocent. Then you are one who is allowing this crime to go ahead and happen. We need to stop showing sympathy towards these people, and jails need to go back to being fucking jails. You commit a major crime, lock their ass up. Lock their ass up and don't fucking let them out, because they don't deserve to be back in the community, because they will just go ahead and keep wreaking havoc. But yeah, something like this, it makes me extremely annoyed that every single time I have to see stuff like this. And the Australian justice system, this is not just here in Victoria as well, but the whole entire justice system across the country is terrible, and it needs to change. But I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about all this down below. That's going to be from me. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.